Box drop and shadow in Flutter. In modern mobile app development, creating a visually appealing user interface is crucial for both usability and aesthetics. A common method to achieve visual depth and hierarchy in a design is the use of shadows, which can give an element the appearance of floating above or receding into the background. In Flutter, a framework designed by Google for building cross-platform apps, shadows are a fundamental design element used to create the illusion of depth and to guide users through an interface. Understanding how to effectively use box shadows in Flutter is key to building polished and visually engaging apps. In Flutter, the most common way to add shadows is through the box shadow class, which is part of the box decoration widget. This class allows developers to add multiple shadows to any widget that supports decoration, such as container, card, or material. The box shadow class takes several parameters that define the appearance of the shadow, including color, offset, blur radius, and spread radius. Each of these parameters plays a vital role in shaping the final visual effect. The color property determines the color of the shadow, which can be set to any color value, including transparent colors for subtle effects. Shadows with a transparent color can be particularly useful when you want to create a soft or subtle depth effect. The offset parameter specifies the position of the shadow relative to the widget. By adjusting the offset, you can control the direction in which the shadow falls, whether it's to the right, left, top, or bottom. The blur radius property controls how soft or sharp the shadow appears. A higher blur radius creates a more diffused, softer shadow, while a smaller blur radius results in a more distinct, sharp shadow. Lastly, the spread radius defines how far the shadow spreads beyond the bounds of the widget. A positive spread radius increases the shadow size, making the element appear more elevated, while a negative spread radius makes the shadow contract, resulting in a smaller, more contained effect. The ability to customize these shadow properties provides Flutter developers with a great deal of control over the appearance of the app's UI elements. For example, shadows are often used in conjunction with material design principles to create a sense of elevation. In the material design language, elevation is a concept used to represent the relative depth of an element in relation to others. Higher elevation generally means the element appears closer to the user and casts a larger, more prominent shadow. Flutter supports this design concept through its material widget, which automatically adds a shadow based on the elevation value set for the widget. For instance, a material widget with an elevation of 4 will appear higher in the visual stack than a widget with an elevation of 2, casting a larger shadow as a result. While shadows add a lot of visual interest and interactivity, overusing them can lead to a cluttered and heavy interface. It's important to apply shadows thoughtfully and strategically, as excessive use of shadows can detract from the clarity of the design and even negatively impact performance. Shadows can be performance intensive, especially on devices with lower processing power, as they require additional rendering resources. To mitigate this, Flutter allows for optimizations in the use of shadows, such as applying shadows only to specific elements and avoiding excessive layering of shadows in complex UIs. Additionally, using lower opacity shadows or simplifying the blur radius can help reduce the rendering cost, particularly in more resource-constrained scenarios. Another important aspect of using shadows in Flutter is their role in creating dynamic, interactive interfaces. Shadows can be dynamically adjusted based on user interactions to give feedback and enhance the user experience. For example, when a user taps a button or interacts with a UI element, the shadow can change in response to simulate a press effect or indicate that the element is being actively engaged. This effect is often achieved by animating the box shadow properties, such as the blur radius and offset, when the user interacts with the widget. The ability to create this kind of feedback is one of the strengths of Flutter, as it provides developers with powerful tools to make their UIs feel responsive and interactive. Beyond simple UI elements, shadows can be used creatively in more complex interfaces to create layers of information. For example, in a card-based interface, where multiple pieces of information are displayed on individual cards, shadows can help distinguish one card from another, guiding the user's attention and making it easier to scan the content. This layered effect can make the UI feel more structured, helping users focus on the most important information. Shadows can also contribute to visual storytelling in apps by highlighting key actions or content. For instance, an elevated button with a prominent shadow can draw attention to a call to action, making it stand out as the primary interactive element on a screen. App icon. An app icon is one of the most important elements of an application's branding and identity. It is the first thing users see when they interact with an app, whether it's in the App Store, on the home screen of their device, or within their app drawer. An app icon plays a crucial role in attracting users to download and engage with the app. A well-designed app icon can increase user recognition, convey the app's purpose, and leave a lasting impression. Therefore, designing an effective app icon requires careful thought, creativity, and an understanding of visual design principles, as well as platform-specific guidelines. At its core, an app icon needs to communicate the essence of the app in a small, visually simple design. The goal is to create an image that is recognizable and memorable, even at smaller sizes. An effective app icon should stand out in a crowded app drawer or on the home screen, and it should be easy to identify even when displayed as a tiny thumbnail. This is especially important because many users will only glance at the icon briefly before deciding whether or not to engage with the app. Simplicity is key in achieving this goal. The icon should be clean, with a strong central element that users can easily associate with the app's function. One of the most important aspects of app icon design is ensuring that it is scalable. The icon will appear in various sizes across different devices, from small smartphones to large tablets. It is essential that the icon maintains its clarity and legibility at all sizes. This requires designing the icon with simple shapes, bold lines, and minimal text. Complex or intricate designs may look great at larger sizes but can lose their impact when scaled down. Additionally, the icon should be designed in a way that it remains visually appealing across different screen resolutions, so high-resolution devices do not cause the icon to appear pixelated or blurry. Color is another important consideration in app icon design. The color palette chosen for the icon should reflect the app's personality and branding while also ensuring the icon stands out among other apps. Bright, contrasting colors tend to catch the eye more effectively, but it is essential to balance vibrancy with simplicity to avoid overwhelming the user. The color palette should also be consistent with the overall branding of the app, ensuring that the icon aligns with other marketing materials and design elements associated with the app. App icons also need to adhere to specific guidelines set by the respective mobile platforms. Both Android and iOS have specific requirements for icon dimensions, shapes, and visual styles. For example, iOS app icons should be square with rounded corners, and Apple recommends that app icons have a clean, flat design with minimal use of gradients and shadows. Meanwhile, Android app icons are often designed as squircles, a blend of square and circular shapes, and may allow for more flexibility in terms of design style. These platform-specific guidelines help ensure that the app icon will look good in the context of the operating system and device it's being used on, and they help maintain consistency across apps on the platform. Another important aspect of app icon design is its ability to adapt to different themes. With many modern devices offering dark mode, the app icon should be designed to work well on both light and dark backgrounds. The icon should maintain its legibility and visual appeal regardless of the system's theme settings. This may involve testing the icon under different conditions to ensure that it does not clash with the background or become difficult to see in certain modes. Beyond its functional role in identifying the app icon also plays an essential part in branding. It's often the first exposure users have to the app's identity, and as such, it should convey the app's core message, values, and aesthetic. For instance, a weather app might use a simple, recognizable symbol like a sun or a cloud to immediately communicate its purpose, while a social networking app might incorporate elements of connection or communication into its design. The icon should evoke the app's core function and promise to the user, giving them an immediate understanding of what the app does and why it might be valuable to them. In Flutter, the Flutter_Launcher_icons package simplifies the process of generating app icons for both Android and iOS platforms. This package allows developers to specify a single image asset.
The end.